6 of those, basically 3 per side, trying to get as much segmented movement as possible, all isolated right there. The rest of your body should have some static tension in it. You want, when you're doing these, to get no movement in the rest of your body and just be moving at the specific joint that you're going after. So I don't have a ton of experience with this, doing it myself, and I also was filming them back to back to back to back, so I didn't want to get overly sweaty for the video, so I didn't create a massive amount of tension in my body. But you should be pretty stiff when you're doing this, as if somebody walked by and pressed you anywhere in your body, you would have a little bit of tension. You'll see me do lateral neck, so side to side, and then I'm going to move into full rotations. So ear goes to the side, chin goes down, and I'm going to go through slow controlled circles of the cervical spine. If you get any pinching pain when you're closing the angle, so closing the angle would be where my left ear is, where I'm on my back now, on my right ear now, and forward. If you get any closing pain, you need to stop doing this and get it checked out or chat with your coaches. All right, so here we're moving into shoulder. I'm going to take my arm up. It's completely straight. My arm's externally rotated. I'm going to go as far back as I possibly can get here. And then, so now I'm in this position. I'm going to internally rotate my arm and try to keep my arm as close to my body as I possibly can keep it. So I have a straight line here from my hip up to my arm, or I'm trying to keep that as close as possible. And as I rotate around, I'm trying to get as much rotation as possible, and then when I finish, my palm should be facing out with full internal rotation. Then I'm going to move in the opposite direction, and I'm going to go back till I hit a sticking point, and then I'm going to basically reverse the range of motion and take it through external rotation, keeping it as close as possible, getting it all the way up to me. So that's a controlled articular rotation of the glenohumeral joint, and now I'll do it from a side view. It's the same thing. So I go until I can get a sticking point, internally rotate, drive it as far back as I can get it, palms facing you, and then I go in reverse direction. Okay, now this is lateral. I'm going to flex my forearm. Now I'm going to rotate internally as much as I can get, and I don't want to let my scapula up here move forward and rotate forward, so I want to get all of the motion from this joint. Obviously, I could probably be a little bit more strict with my range of motion, but it's still going to give you an idea of what we're looking after. Then I'm going to externally rotate in full, extend my hand, and I'm going to actively pull as hard as I can with all the musculature on the back of my hand and the back of my forearm, pulling in as much as I can and externally rotating as hard as I can. Then I'm going to flex, and I'm going to rotate through in the opposite direction again. Okay, these are scap circles, so I'm going to protract, elevate, retract, depress, down. I want all the movement to be coming from my scapula. I want my hands to stay locked by my side the entire time. So you'll see it from the side view: protraction, elevation, retraction, depression. As much movement as you can get, and then I take it in reverse direction in the circle. So I'm retracted, elevated, protracting, and depressing. Scapula. Okay, now this is scapula in the horizontal plane, so I'm doing that same motion with my scapula, and my arms are just out in front of me. So big circles. Controlled articular rotations are basically big circles. So you see me just making big circles here with my scapula. Okay, now we're going to go overhead. This one is really difficult. Requires a lot of range of motion. My upper body is a little bit stiff and pretty big, so you're not going to see a lot of movement here, but I'm trying to do the best that I can. Okay, so there's 3 planes for the scapula. Now here we're doing wrist, pretty straightforward. Now you want to get as big of a range of motion as you possibly can get when doing these. Do that in both directions there. Hand straight, then make a fist, do the same thing.
Hopefully I'm doing my ranges well with this one. My wrist move really well. Do lots of my flexibility stuff. I'll be good as soon as this 15 minutes video is over.
And some deviation to the side. Now here's elbow. Supinate my hand, so I want my elbow to stay as close to my body as I can keep it kind of in the same position. I'm supinating as much as possible, elevating right here when I'm at the top. I'm actively trying to pull my hand into as much supination as possible. Then I'm pronating it, and then I'm pushing down, and then supination, back up, and I'm just creating big circles. Okay, here's spine. So when you do this, you want to make sure that